Hello everyone, how are you? Namaste to you all. Today we are going to talk about Vitala Pandurangan part 6 and Namadeva part 5. Last week we learnt that Namadeva got two gurus. Jnanadeva directed him to Visoba Kechar and Visoba showed Gora Kumbar as his guru. After realizing God is present everywhere, they continued their pilgrimage. Let's see how much he understood the Guru's teaching. What he learnt? Lord is omnipresent. One day, Namadeva was holding a bread or chapati in his hand. The butter was in a small vessel beside him. Suddenly a dog came and grabbed the bread from Nama's hand. Seeing this, Nama took the butter and ran after the dog. The dog ran so fast and Nama also followed the dog and finally caught it. People who saw this sneered that he was chasing a dog for a piece of bread. He hugged the dog and said, "Hey dog, you forgot to take the butter. The bread will not be tasty without butter." So saying, he spread the butter on the bread and gave it to the dog. By this incident, it can be known that Namadeva had started to see God in everything he saw. There was another version of this incident. When Namadeva hugged the dog, there appeared Vitala and the dog disappeared. Vitala was happy to see that Nama had matured in devotion. We have a song in Tamil. Kaakkai siraginile Nandalala, undan kariyamugam thondudada Nandalala. கேட்கும் ஒளியிலெல்லாம் நந்தலாலா நிந்தன் கீதம் இசைக்குதடா நந்தலாலா. Who is Nandalala? Nandan's son, that is Lord Krishna. So what the poet says in this, I see your black color in crow's feather and I hear your songs in all the sounds I hear, and so on. The poet says he finds Krishna in all things he sees. Namadeva also had the similar experience. Now, Namadeva also had become great devotee. It is not wrong to think that my God, the God that I pray, is superior. The problem comes when we start thinking that only mine is correct and abuse others. This quality creates differences and enmity among people. Nama was also innocently with the thought that only Vitalan was supreme. After Guru Kripa, that attitude changed in him. Few incidents took place during the pilgrimage due to the above quality. And we know Nama was blessed by Vitalan at the age of 6. And he lived a span of 80. So we know how much miracles would have happened in his whole lifetime, especially during this pilgrimage. We learn only few. Then they went to Kashi and they met Kabir Dasa and his son. So many miracles happened there also due to the glory of Vitala Nama. Let us see that in the story of Kabir Dasa later. They continued their travel and reached Delhi. Alauddin Khilji was the ruler that time. He did not like these people doing bhajan in his country. So, he ordered them to go away from his kingdom. God's devotees fear only sins. If they indulge in worship, they will not fear anyone who threatens. The great Nayanmar Tirunavukarasu Alais Appar sang in his Devaram, Namarkum Kudiyallom Namanayanjam. That means, we are not subjects to anybody. We are not afraid of death. A song that sprang out of the unshakable confidence in the Supreme that served as undying source of courage. Seeing the determination of Nama, the king brought a cow and a calf to his court and killed them in front of the devotees. Then he spoke arrogantly to give life to that cow and calf. Nama prayed to God and started doing bhajan, and to the surprise of the king and the court, the cow and the calf stood alive. The king was astonished to see this, and with great respect, he allowed Nama and his group to do bhajan in his kingdom. Even today, there is an idol with a cow and calf in the Namadeva mutt on Lodi Road in Delhi. Then they reached a place, Avantiya Naganath Temple. There is one story told about this temple and Namadeva. When they reached the temple and were chanting bhajans in front of the temple, the bhajan was stopped by the pujari and some devotees. As I said, according to the pujari and devotees, only their God Shiva is supreme. Such misconceptions were very common those days. When such misconception arise, some guru like Namadeva appears and corrects. Without objecting, Namadeva and others went to the backside of the temple and continued their bhajan. But God, in order to be in the sight of the pining devotee and listen bhajans, revolved the temple. It is testimonial to that miracle why Nandi is located on backside of the temple. Once they were traveling through the desert of Rajasthan, everyone was thirsty. Namadeva found a well, but the water was deep inside. Namadeva, with his yogic power, reached the water and drank. When he offered his help to Namadeva, he denied. He did not want to do any such thing, but to trust Vitalan. The level of water rose miraculously to the surface, and everyone drank the water. We know the same thing, the trust, the belief. Where it happened? Lord Narasimha waited at all the pillars of the palace to fulfill his devotee Prahlada's trust. So many incidents happened in their journey. They met Kabir, Kamal, Tulsidas, Pipaji, Narsimeta, Guru Nanak, Gorakhnath and Matsyendranath in other places. At the end of the journey, Namadeva gained a lot of knowledge, was able to look at the world with a wider vision as the manifestation of God. On returning to Pandharpur after pilgrimage, Namadeva shared his experiences with Vitalan with great joy. Now he wanted to play a drama. Who? Vitalan. He told Namadeva, Nama, after the pilgrimage you have to give Sahasra Bhojan to the sacred Brahmins. There, when we start a journey, we give Yatradana, and while returning, we do Dadyaradana. That is the common practice, even today. As usual, Namadeva was like, your will and your action. He never had his own opinion or action. Anyway, now Vitalan invited all the Brahmins and gave them a wonderful bhojan, that is food. The Brahmins were so happy with the way Vitala treated them. Now Vitala, with smile on his face, requested the Brahmin to wait until Nama and he eat food. At the end of the bhojan, the Brahmins must get tambulam or gift. So they all agreed. Now Nama and Vitalan started eating. Vitalan took food from Nama's plate and he ate. He gave some of his food from his leaf to Nama. Seeing this, the Brahmin became furious. These are not rituals. They were very proud of their upper caste. Eating from others' plate was one mistake. That too, eating from a lower caste was unacceptable. So they started arguing with Vitala. Vitala said, what is your daily food, Nama? Nama answered, my daily food is only Nama Bhajan of Vitalan. I breathe Vitalan. My everything is nothing but Vitalan. We remember, what? Nalaira Divya Prabandham, where Nammalvar is singing, Unnusorum Parugunir Tinnum Vettilai Ellam Kannan. This is what he sang in Nalaira Divya Prabandham. For him, everything is Perumal, Kannan. Same thing. For Vitalan, for Namadeva, everything is Vitalan. Seeing this, seeing the staunch devotion of Namadeva, the Brahmin got astonished. Still, they did not agree the acceptance of a non-Brahmin. Then what happened? They started abusing Vitalan, who came in disguise of Nama's friend, Ananta Bhattar. Vitalan said, just because you are all learned scholars, I am showing you who I am. I am bound only by the love of devotees like Namadeva. I am not among the ignorant who do not know the truth of Dharma Shastra rituals, saying that he showed them his darshan. We can say Vitala used to go to everyone's house. What about these Brahmins? That's a good question, right? Whether it was a Brahmin or a non-Brahmin, Vitala was only with pure devotees. So Namadeva, through his devotion and bhajan, changed many devotees from their wrong deeds and understanding about our dharma. Now it was time for Namadeva to return to Vaikuntham. So let's see what happened when he returned to Vaikuntham. Before that, so many things happened. Let's see what happened in the next week. Until then, see you. Take care. Hare Vitala.